Your teamwork, especially you, right over there. This took some effort to get it up on the screen, so I'm really grateful because that's my presentation, and I know that it will help another gal who's also going to use digital presentation. So we needed a password and that we didn't have, but thankfully we got some help. So, yay! Thank you. Thank you so much. So I decided to present on something that I recently learned about, and perhaps you can learn from my experience. Today I'm going to share with you more about flocking fabric. Yes, I said flocking. And it's, I think it's another term for faux suede. I have never really heard the term before, but I was looking up faux suede for a project. So just a note on the image that you see right here. This is an art piece. It is in Seattle, and it is, I believe it's the Facebook office. They wanted to highlight artists, and this is all flock. So just some ideas about what it can come in for us. So, flocking fabric, how is it made? Flocking fabric is a man-made textile. It's created by having short, fine fibers adhere to the base of a material. And most frequently, there is an electrostatic method that's utilized where those fibers are charged and they're propelled onto that substrate, that base. And so they create a high-density uniform coating, and these fibers are sprayed on using an air compressor, a reservoir, or a spray gun, similar to spraying paint. So how many of us have sprayed paint when we are redoing our homes, interior or exterior? So you have some experience already. Just think of it that you're shooting fibers instead. As you can see in this diagram, those are what those fibers should be looking like when they're standing up straight. And there's a whole variety of things that these fibers can be flocked on. Paper, glass, ceramics, rubber, artificial leather, it goes on and on. And during this time, I have some blessed helpers who are going to get a roll of flocking fabric for you all to feel personally. And there's also going to be something else that comes along, because you have flocking fabric or things that are flocked in your home right now. Yes, you do. And here we have a demonstration of the technical aspect of flocking. We have flocking by vibration and flocking by electrostatic method. And so as you can see on your right, on my right, there are beater bars that roll the conveyor belt along, and there's some adhesive that's placed on beforehand, and so the little fibers are dropped on, and then there's like a little vacuum at the very end, and they're all kind of standing up. Maybe some are bent sideways. We're not sure. But then there's the electrostatic method, which is the preferred method, and look at how straight they stand up. Just beautiful. So that's the application. And they use a grounded electrode. So that's how they get that static. So it's basically having that electricity create that static so that it stands up straight. You know how like the hair on the back of your head, your neck stands up straight? Just like that. Again, the vacuum at the very end, catching all those loose fibers.
How would you like for me to do this? Just pass?
Yes. Have the folks just touch and feel how that flocking fabric feels.
She's having too much fun.
And now a moment with Alberto. Alberto is going to share with us more about textiles and how this video, this is a 2-minute video, is going to share with us about flocking on yarns, fabric, and garments.
sweatshirt with a beautiful, fluffy, tender, soft writing on the top of it. If you were a child, you couldn't stop touching because that fluffy printing was too comfortable for your hands. This material is called flock, and it's the same material used for clothes hangers and velvet-like fabrics. If you're a woman watching this video, perhaps you have some flock tights in your wardrobe right now. It's not velvet, it's not special ink, but what is it and how it's made? Let's see that together. Before looking at the production, let's see the difference between the flock and the fiber. Fiber is the smallest unit of textile production. Flock is a textile dust that is obtained by cutting toes and tops and is charged electrostatically. It can be artificial, synthetic, vegetable or animal origin. It can be also dyed. It's basically dust made of millions of blended tiny little fibrous parts. The difference is this. Flocks are blended fibers that are electrostatically charged and sieved. Sieving is essential in order to have a perfect, homogeneous textile dust. Flocking can be performed on garments, fabrics, or yarns. The process is basically the same. You need flocking fibers and electrostatic glues. If you perform flocking on yarns, you can perform weaving and the garment is ready. If you perform flocking on fabric or a garment, you need to print after the weaving process. This special printing technique is performed through rollers or screen printing. Instead of inks and pastes, you have electrostatic glue. Flocks are fantastic because they are not used just for fashion and garments. They can be used for construction, cement and concrete in order to avoid cracks in the wall and to give better structure and settling resistance. They are used for sound absorbing panels. They can be easily recycled from textile wastes. Blending is easy since the size is very small. They're used for cosmetics, for brushes and creams application, paper mills, packaging, garments hanger to avoid slipping, automotive, other applications. The downside is that flocks can expose workers to small nylon particles. These small nylon particulates, if inhaled, can cause flock workers' lung, a type of interstitial lung disease. That's it for today, guys. I hope you have enjoyed the content of this video. You will find my details below along with my email.
Thank you, Alberto. Okay, so while searching for faux fabric, I found on Mood Fabrics that they were selling faux suede. I was actually looking for faux suede, and it came up as flocking faux suede, suitable for garment making. So I bought a yard in white, and it was delivered on that roll, in that box back there. So when it came, as you can see, you can feel the one side that has the nap, and then on the back side, the plastic. They described it as this: it has a napped texture that's between suede and velveteen, with a slick backing, and that this material is sculpturally malleable. It has a drape that lends itself to create cool jackets with a matte finish, funky, fuzzy pencil skirts, and wonderful accessories like bags. A lining won't be necessary for most projects because it's desirable, but it might be desirable for comfort, especially for garment wear. That made a lot of sense to me because what I was hoping to use it for was in a vest. But as I looked at the fabric myself, I thought, I don't know about this. It feels really thick and maybe not what I was expecting. So I can see it being made into bags. I can see it being made into bags. And maybe certain garments. So they did have some specifics on that on their website. So their suggested projects include pants, a skirt, a jacket, and a dress. Going in further, they offer some free patterns to utilize, but I also came across a warning about those free patterns, that they're not necessarily the most user-friendly, even if you are a very talented seamstress. Some of the feedback that was received or posted on Reddit included people who had 10 years plus seamstresses, and they cautioned people to utilizing their project free patterns. So I just thought, I don't know if I'm going to use that. And for those reasons, I have hesitated to use that 1 yard of fabric. It seems like there's a whole lot more that they sent to me, though. I think they were trying to really... Yes, ma'am, you said it, get rid of it. I don't know. So yeah, there was sizing and proportions off, missing pattern pieces and so forth, half sentences. These are what some of the folks said. So I was just kind of disappointed, and I'm not sure that I'll use that fabric. In the end, it may just be more of like a learning experience. For me, as I know all of you have come through learning experiences and utilizing maybe fabric that you're not aware, new to you. Yes, we have a question.
How much did that yarn cost?
$24.99 including shipping. Wow. And it was quick ship, which was 8 to 10 days from New York City. Yes, ma'am. But not to be discouraged, I went further and I looked into how to sew with faux suede. So there is information on the internet for that. Professor Pincushion does show us how to sew with faux suede. That's a 2-minute video, and I'm just going to ask Tracy, do you feel like with the time that we have allotted, do you want me to just pause here because folks can look at it on their own, or if you would like that to be shown? Would that be helpful?
Yeah, show it.
Show it? Okay. All right, so it's quick and to the point, which that's the kind of teaching I like.
Your father knows about saving money. Everything I'm wearing, I've had since boot camp.
Faux and synthetic suede is a lightly textured fabric and a great alternative to the real thing. It can be used for garments, bag making, and home decor. This fabric is best used for simple designs without a lot of fussy details. It's usually made from polyester or a poly blend, so check the care instructions to see how to care for it. It can come in different weights. Lightweight is best for garments and costumes, while heavier weight is best for jackets, home decor, and bags. This type of fabric typically doesn't have any give, so choose projects that don't require stretch. Also, it has a nap, so you'll want to choose the nap pattern layout. If you don't have a nap layout, mark the top of the patterns with a T. Those marks, along with the gray line arrows, should all be laid in the same direction. To prevent puncture marks, you'll want to avoid straight pins as much as possible. Cut your patterns on a single layer of fabric and use weights and a rotary cutter. When putting seams together, use clips instead of pins. At your sewing machine, you'll want to use a stitch length of at least 3, especially if you're using a thicker synthetic suede. You can use regular all-purpose thread to sew. For a needle, use a sharp. For a lightweight, an 80-12 is fine, but you may use a 90-14 for heavier fabric. For the presser foot, you can try using the standard foot, but it might be easier to use the non-stick foot so it slides smoother over the fabric, or a walking foot. As you sew your seam, hold the fabric taut. You're not pulling on it, but just keeping it tight. This will help prevent puckers in your seam. Seams can either be pressed open or pressed to the side. With the heavier fabric, seams may feel bulky, so it's okay to use something like fusible webbing or seam tape to keep the seam allowance flat. Or sew a top stitch next to the seam line for a nice finished look. When pressing, you want to be careful since the fabric is synthetic and you don't want to damage fibers with a hot iron. Either use a press cloth to protect the fabric or use steam and finger press open. Interfacing can be used for the lighter weight fabric, but choose something that works for polyester fabric. Also, the lighter weight type of faux suede can fray, so either use an overcast stitch to finish or use the liquid product that stops fraying on the edges. This type of fabric comes in a variety of colors and is not terribly hard to sew, so it's a great fabric to use for all kinds of projects. Our book, Professor Pincushin's Beginner Guide to Sew.
And that is my presentation. Special thanks to James for passing around the flocking faux fabric. I can hardly talk now. Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Do you know if that could be dyed? Do you know if that could be dyed?
I think that's an experiment worth doing. Why not? I got so much of it. We could actually, use it as part of our experiments or projects, whatever we might want to do with it, because I just feel that free with this roll of fabric that they sent to me, because I don't know that I'll actually use it. But I think it's interesting to find out more whether that can be dyed. It does come in black. They sell it in black, and apparently there's only 2 rolls left of that. But the white, they've got lots, so we can do all colors. Why not? Have fun with it. Any other wonderful questions? Okay, thank you. Have a great day.